To all you Libras out there, hello and welcome to your yearly horoscope for the year of 2013. So let's have a look at the planets, and especially the planets who are far away, as from Jupiter until Pluto. What are these planets doing, and which houses are they transiting during the year of 2013? I think in general 2013 is going to be a year of adventure, and especially for cardinal signs as well, and you are a cardinal sign, you Librans. So I'm going to start with Pluto-Uranus, because that's a bit the same as last year, and even more, Pluto-Uranus will be at the background during the year of 2013, but with this difference that it is going to be triggered by Jupiter. Jupiter is going to oppose Pluto and square up to Uranus. More about that in a minute, but this means that another planet is going to put this whole square into action and making it a T-square actually. And for Librans it's very important, because this is about your key areas of your life. So it affects you as a Libra, it affects your 7th house, your relationships houses, it affects work, and it affects your home. So it really is a very interesting time for Librans, especially for those who have an ascendant or personal planets around 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 degrees of Libra. Those will feel these energies the most. So let's break it down a little bit. Let's start with Pluto. Pluto is in your 4th house. It's going to be in your 4th house for the whole year, and it's going to square up Uranus in your 7th house. What does it all mean? Well, having Pluto in the 4th house is really, the 4th house is your very it's the darkest place, or it's the most intimate place of ourselves, because it's the deep core of ourselves, it's our identity. And having Pluto there means quite a shake-up when it considers that trusting deep core identity. So, and that can be different things at different levels for different people. Now, on a very mundane level, it can mean that you just are going to move next year. It can mean that you are going to renovate your house, because Pluto means destruction in order for something new to come in. But for a lot of Librans, it means a very deep change within. And it could be a breaking up with your roots, because of several reasons, or things that were hidden come onto the surface that has to do with your roots or with your family. So things that were always kept secret and all of a sudden have to come up, and that's of course also a part of you that reveals itself. So on a very deep level you are changing, and as I said in probably other videos, changes, there are gradations of changes. You've got the changes, you know, I change my clothes every now and then, or you can change the color of your lipstick or whatever. You can change a job in the same company, that's already a bigger change. But you can also change on a very deep level your opinions, your the things that you believe in, your values, and you can change your core, actually, what you were all about. So that's a huge opportunity, because most people, especially when they grow older, they don't want to change. And this shows that for you it's necessary. It's necessary to make the changes. So Uranus in your 7th house is really helping it. So first of all, when you're single, I'm going to start with people who are single. If you are single, Uranus people are going to come into your life, Uranus-like people, and these are exciting people. These are people who want freedom and who are really much about, who care about freedom, and who don't want to be like this. And they are learning that towards you because it's the 7th house. So if you're not having a relationship for a long time, there's a very big chance that someone enters your life. And it can be someone that is totally different from you, or it can be someone who's very original in his thoughts or in her thoughts, or in actions or in appearance. So expect someone to cross your path that is not really mainstream, but it shows that your own need for freedom and your own need to find yourself again. So a lot of opportunity to meet someone new, and sometimes encounters that can be electric, and maybe not always a long term, but it could be long term. If you are in a relationship already and it's absolutely not working out, and you're really having difficulties, and you're really feeling chained, and you really feel that you cannot be yourself at all, if you are to all these things that I said not yes, then there's a huge possibility to end this relationship, because there is this new you emerging from a very deep level. And of course, when we change on a deep level, we change, the outer world changes as well, so the people that we attract are going to change as well. But if you're saying, hey, I'm having a nice relationship, it's a relationship with ups and downs like every relationship, or it's a relationship we understand each other, then there is this need in the relationship of getting it more, freshen it up. So doing very Uranus things together. So so that will be a good advice to do things with your loved one that are absolutely a bit, I'm not going to say a bit crazy, but a bit different than what normally people traditionally would do. Celebrating Christmas or celebrating Easter in a totally different way, in another country maybe, or doing things that are original, doing things that freshen up the relationship. If you do that, your relationship is really going to freshen up, even when you know each other for more than 20 years. So, and another thing is that around June, July and August, Jupiter is going to shift from Gemini into Cancer, and is going to trigger that whole square. Now Jupiter has been in Gemini for a long time, and now until the end of June, I think the 27th of June, it is going to be still in Gemini. And for you Gemini, that is the 9th house. So still until the end of that month, Jupiter is going to be expansive for you when it comes to your view on things, your higher perspective. And it's nice to have Jupiter in the 9th house. It's actually associated with the 9th house stuff, with traveling. So if you want to travel, please do so. Or if you are in contact with people from abroad, or if you are picking up a new study, especially a study that broadens the mind, so it's not very much into depth, but into a broader view of things, any universal study at university, or schools that, or even astrology, anything that broadens the mind and that makes connections, that is good for you, that is still very expansive and meaningful for you. But as from the end of June until the rest of the year, Jupiter shifts to your 10th house in Cancer. Now Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so it's a very strong Jupiter. And the 10th house is a house of our social status. Even if we don't have a job, it's how other people see us. And this is going to expand, and it's going to have more meaning in our lives. And I think that's really good. If you are out of a job, expect around that time, May, June, July, August, that there is something that that can work out for you, because Jupiter means expansion and the 10th house is work. So you could make a promotion, or you could really have a lot of work, because Jupiter is also a lot. And you can really find your way when it comes to work, and that's really beautiful. And this Jupiter entering that 10th house is going to oppose Pluto and squaring up to Uranus. So this shows that, of course, Jupiter and Pluto are two ingredients. There's nothing wrong or bad or good with it. You know, Pluto is all about power and is all about being effective and powerful, and Jupiter is expansion. So for all of us, it means opportunities for expansion. But as it is an opposition, it can mean a struggle, or it can mean a conflict before that happens. So and when is it going to be a conflict? It's only going to be a conflict when we are being egocentric. And I don't think that Librans, well, certainly not most Librans, they are not egocentric. On the contrary, I think that a lot of them would be off better if they are a bit more concerned about themselves instead of other people. So I don't think it will be a problem for Librans, that Jupiter-Pluto opposition. On the contrary, it will give them a bit of a push to get what they want, and to get what they have been wanting for such a long time. And that has to do with work, home and partnership. It could mean a business partner, but it could also mean that a relationship is really going to work out for you, or maybe a total new one, and it will be liberate you in many ways. So that is really good news for Librans, especially that Jupiter in the 10th is very positive for also your social status. So it's nice to be seen as someone who is positive and who is expansive and who gives meaning to the things that they feel committed to. Now, what else is happening for Librans? Saturn will be for the whole year in the second house, so in the house of self-worth, and that Saturn is working together with Pluto in the 4th house. Why? Because a lot of months Saturn is going to sextile Pluto, and that's a nice aspect that's happening around January, February, March and September. So for you, it's those two planets, Saturn and Pluto. It's about working hard and manifesting through hard work. And second house is your values, your talents and your money situation, and 4th house is your home and is your core. So I think for a lot of Librans, they're going to get more respect for themselves and for who they are. So that's also a nice aspect that is going on during 2013. What else? Neptune. I have mentioned Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces for the whole year, and if you've got planets between 0 and 5 degrees of Capricorn, it's nicely sextiling Neptune in Pisces. Now, for you Librans, this is really interesting, because it can help you with how would I say, with the idealization, especially in the first 6 months of the year, of your higher ideals and your higher views. That is really interesting for you, because this Neptune is also entering, it has just entered your 6th house, but not just, but it's just in the beginning of your 6th house. It can mean that you are trying to bring in Neptune a bit more in your day-to-day life. So that you need a bit more of, maybe, I'm not going to say fantasy, but maybe a bit of ideals into your day-to-day work. What can I be? can be putting on music every day, or it can mean that you maybe concerning your health, you're doing Neptunian things, maybe meditating or maybe doing some yoga. It's a good time for that. Yes, your day-to-day stuff or your work could also have to do with Neptune. So have to do with spiritual things. That suits very well with that Jupiter in the 10th house. So, which is all about teaching, or which is about not only teaching, but which is also about the spiritual things and spirituality and higher connections. So, a lot for 2013. And I'm going to have a look if I haven't forgot anything, and if there is something important beside of that. Yes, there is in your opposite sign, there is a lunar eclipse in Aries at 25 degrees at the 18th of October. Why is that important? Because then the sun will be in your sign and the moon will be in your 7th house. So around that time, when I talk about that relationship-wise and the emphasis on that could come to a culmination point. So, wish you all the luck. Oh, by the way, Venus is not going, which is your ruler, is not going to go retrograde this year. So that's also a positive thing. So you're going straight forward. You're going, actually it's going retrograde at the very end of December, the 22nd of December, but I don't count that with it. So I wish you all the best for 2013, you nice Librans. See you next year. Bye-bye.